Who decides whether you shall be happy or unhappy? The answer is you do. Let's begin with a small piece of content: how to create your own happiness. A television celebrity had as a guest on his program an aged man, and he was a very rare old man indeed. His remarks were entirely unpremeditated and, of course, absolutely unrehearsed. They simply bubbled up out of a personality that was radiant and happy. And whenever he said anything, it was so naive, so apt, that the audience roared with laughter. They loved him. The celebrity was impressed and enjoyed it with the others. Finally, he asked the old man why he was so happy. "You must have a wonderful secret of happiness," he suggested. "No," replied the old man, "I haven't any great secret. It's just as plain as the nose on your face. When I get up in the morning," he explained, "I have two choices, either to be happy or to be unhappy. And what do you think I do? I just choose to be happy. And that's all. There is it." That may seem an oversimplification, and it may appear that the old man was superficial. But I recall that Abraham Lincoln, whom nobody could accuse of being superficial, said that people were just about as happy as they made up their minds to be. You can be unhappy if you want to be. It is the easiest thing in the world to accomplish. Just choose unhappiness. Go around telling yourself that things aren't going well, that nothing is satisfactory, and you can be quite sure of being unhappy. But say to yourself, things are going nicely, life is good, I choose happiness, and you can be quite certain of having your choice. Children are more expert in happiness than adults. The adult who can carry the spirit of a child into middle and old age is a genius. In other words, never get old or dull or jaded in spirit. Don't become super sophisticated. My little daughter Elizabeth, aged 9, has the answer to happiness. One day I asked her, "Are you happy, honey?" "Sure I am," she replied. "Are you always happy?" I asked. "Sure," she answered. "I'm always happy." "What makes you happy?" I asked her. "Why, I don't know," she said. "I'm just happy." "There must be something that makes you happy," I urged. "Well," she said, "I'll tell you what it is. My playmates, they make me happy. I like them. My school makes me happy. I like to go to school. I like my teachers. I like Sunday school and my Sunday school teacher. I love my sister Margaret and my brother John. I love my mother and father. They take care of me when I am sick, and they love me and are good to me." This is Elizabeth's formula for happiness. And it seems to me that it's all there. Her playmates, that's her associates. Her school, the place where she works. Her Sunday school, where she worships. Her sister, brother, mother, and father. That means the home circle where love is found. There you have happiness in a nutshell. And the happiest time of your life is in relation to those factors. A group of boys and girls were asked to list the things that made them happiest. Their answers were rather touching. Here's the boys' list: a swallow flying, looking into deep, clear water, water being cut at the bow of a boat, a fast train rushing, a builder's crane lifting something heavy, my dog's eyes. And here is what the girls said made them happy: street lights on the river, red roofs in the trees, smoke rising from the chimney, red velvet, the moon in the clouds. There is something in the beautiful essence of the universe that is expressed, though only half articulated by these things. To become a happy person, have a clean soul, eyes that see romance in the commonplace, a child's heart, and spiritual simplicity. Many of us manufacture our own unhappiness. Of course, not all unhappiness is self created, for social conditions are responsible for not a few of our woes. Yet, it is a fact that to a large extent, by our thoughts and attitudes, we distill out of the ingredients of life either happiness or unhappiness for ourselves. 4 people out of 5 are not so happy as they can be. Unhappiness is the most common state of mind. Whether human happiness strikes as low a level as this, I would hesitate to say, but I do find more people living unhappy lives than I would care to compute. Since a fundamental desire of every human being is for that state of existence called happiness, something should be done about it. Happiness is achievable, and the process for obtaining it is not complicated. Anyone who desires it, who wills it, and who learns and applies the right formula may become a happy person. In a railway dining car, I sat across from a husband and wife, strangers to me. The lady was expensively dressed, as the furs, diamonds, and costume which she wore indicated, but she was having a most unpleasant time with herself. Rather loudly, she proclaimed that the car was dingy and draughty, the service abominable, and the food was most unpalatable. She complained and fretted about everything. Her husband, on the contrary, was a genial, affable, easy-going man who obviously had the capacity to take things as they came. I thought he seemed a bit embarrassed by his wife's critical attitude and somewhat disappointed too, as he was taking her on this trip for pleasure. To change the conversation, he asked what business I was in, and then said he was a lawyer. Then he made a big mistake, for with a grin he added, "My wife is in the manufacturing business." This was surprising, for she did not seem to be the industrial or executive type, so I asked, "What does she manufacture?" "Unhappiness," he replied. "She manufactures her own unhappiness." Despite the icy coolness that settled upon the table following this ill advised observation, I was grateful for his remark, for it describes exactly what so many people do. They manufacture their own unhappiness. Rather than to emphasize the manner in which people manufacture their own unhappiness, let us proceed to the formula for putting an end to this misery producing process. Suffice it to say that we manufacture our unhappiness by thinking unhappy thoughts, by the attitudes which we habitually take, such as the negative feeling that everything is going to turn out badly, or that other people are getting what they do not deserve, and we are failing to get what we do deserve. An incident from one of my railway journeys may suggest an answer. One morning, in an old-style Pullman car, approximately half a dozen of us were shaving in the men's lounge. As always, in such close and crowded quarters, after a night on the train, this group of strangers was not disposed to be gay, and there was little conversation, and that little was mostly mumbled. Then a man came in wearing on his face a broad smile. He greeted us all with a cheery good morning, but received rather enthusiastic grunts in return. As he went about his shaving, he was humming, probably quite unconsciously, a gay little tune. It got a bit on the nerves of some of the men. Finally, one said, rather sarcastically, "You certainly seem to be happy this morning. Why all the cheer?" "Yes," the man answered. "As the matter of fact, I am happy. I do feel cheerful." Then he added, "I make it a habit to be happy." That is all that was made. But I am sure that each man in that lounge left the train with those interesting words in mind. I make it a habit to be happy. The happiness habit is developed by simply practicing happy things. Make a mental list of happy thoughts and pass them through your mind several times every day. If an unhappiness thought should enter your mind, immediately stop. Consciously eject it and substitute a happiness thought. Every morning before arising, lie relaxed in bed and deliberately drop happy thoughts into your conscious mind. Let a series of pictures pass across your mind of each happy experience you expect to have during the day. Savor their joy. Such thoughts will help cause events to turn out that way. Do not affirm that things will not go well that day. By merely saying that, you can actually help to make it so. You will draw to yourself every factor, large and small, that will contribute to unhappy conditions. As a result, you will find yourself asking, why does everything go badly for me? What is the matter with everything? The reason can be directly traced to the manner in which you began the day in your thoughts. While dressing or shaving or getting breakfast, say aloud a few such remarks like, I believe this is going to be a wonderful day. I believe I can successfully handle all problems that will arise today. I feel good physically, mentally, emotionally. It is a wonderful to be alive. I am grateful for all that I have had, for all that I have now, and for all that I shall have. Things aren't going to fall apart. God is here, and He is with me, and He will see me through. I thank God for every good thing. I once knew an unhappy sort of fellow who always said to his wife at breakfast, this is going to be another tough day. He didn't really think so, but he had a mental quirk whereby if he said it was going to be a tough day, it might turn out pretty well. But things really started going badly with him, which was not surprising. For if you visualize and affirm an unhappy outcome, you tend thereby to create just type of condition. So affirm happy outcomes at the start of every day and you will be surprised at how often things will turn out so. But it is not sufficient to apply to the mind even such an important affirmation therapy. As I have just suggested, unless throughout the day you also base your actions and attitudes upon fundamental principles of happy living. One of the most simple and basic of such principles is that of human love and goodwill. It is amazing what happiness a sincere expression of compassion and tenderness will induce. A genuinely happy man is a friend of mine, H.G. Matten, who with his equally happy wife, Mary, travels throughout the country in the course of his work. Mr. Matten carries a unique business card on the reverse side of which is stated the philosophy which has brought happiness to him and his wife, and to hundreds of others who have been so fortunate as to feel the impact of their personalities. The card reads as, the way to happiness: keep your heart free from hate, your mind from worry, live simply, expect little, give much. Fill your life with love. Scatter sunshine, forget self, think of others. Do as you would be done by. Try this for a week and you will be surprised. As you listen these words, you may say, there is nothing new in that. Indeed, there is something new in it if you have never tried it. When you start to practice it, you will find it in the newest, freshest, most astonishing method of happy and successful living you have ever used. What is the value of having known these principles all your life if you have never made use of them? Such inefficiency in living is tragic. Of course, in order to give power to these principles of happiness and make them work, it is necessary to support them with a dynamic quality of mind. If happiness is determined by our thoughts, it is necessary to drive off the thoughts which make for depression and discouragement. This is the secret of happiness. All else is secondary. Get this experience and you have got real, unalloyed happiness, the best the world offers. Don't miss it. Whatever you do in this life, for this is it. Thank you for listening. For more, check the description below.